Hello everyone, it's Joe JF Jr. and today, in honor of Scooby-Doo's 51st anniversary, I'm going to go through their timeline. It may be a bit messy, but that's what you get. And let's begin. In the late 60s, Joe Ruby and Ken Spears pitched a show called Mysteries 5, or Who's Scared, to CBS. It was about a group of teens and their dog who are a band, and in between gigs they solve mysteries of supernatural monsters. They actually rejected it because of the title Who's Scared, because it was too scary for kids. And so Ruby and Spears rearranged it, like the dog too much, so it became Scooby Doo. Jeff became Fred. Kelly became Daphne. Linda became Velma. And WW became Shaggy. The monsters became people in outfits, not supernatural monsters. And the band aspect was entirely removed. Another reason why they changed it is because it was too similar to the Archie show. And on September 13th, 1969, Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Premiered with What a Night for a Night. And in 1970, it ended with Don't Fool with a Phantom. Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? Lasted for 25 episodes. In 1972, the new Scooby-Doo movies premiered. It's where Scooby and the gang solve mysteries together, along with known celebrities like Batman and Robin, the Three Stooges, Sherlock Holmes, I think, and Josie and the Pussycats. And it ended just a year later. Talk about short. In 1976, some new Scooby shows premiered, like Scooby-Doo's Laugh Olympics, where he teamed up with Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, and the Blue Falcon and Dynamite, other Hanna-Barbera characters. And there were other shows like the third season of Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? But I don't count it. That premiered in '78, among others. And the Scooby episodes in those were packaged under the Scooby-Doo show from '76 to '78. And in 1979, ratings were dropping, and so they made a new character, Scooby's hyperactive, rambunctious nephew. And the first season of Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo just had Scrappy as an addition, not replacing Fred, Daphne, and Velma, who were removed after that. And there was a couple of other shows which were Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo, the second one. Fred, Daphne, and Velma were nowhere to be seen, as it was only Scooby, Scrappy, and Shaggy. And, however, in the new Scooby-Doo and Scrappy-Doo show, Daphne was re-added, and they went from not having a job beyond being just teenage sleuths to being journalists at somewhere. I don't really know. And with the new Scooby-Doo mysteries in 1984, Fred and Velma were re-added, but as supporting characters that only appear every now and again in the show. And in 1985, we got the end of what I call the Scrappy-Doo era of Scooby-Doo. The 13 Ghosts of Scooby-Doo. And during the Scrappy era, 1979 to 1985, Fred, Daphne, and Velma were shafted in exchange for Scrappy, who was just dumb, if all combined, a dog, and very annoying. My dad, James Gunn, and Tim Curry also agree with me. And the monsters were actually supernatural, not just being people in outfits. And Scooby Doo and Scrappy Doo, and the second one aired from 88 80 to 83. New Mysteries and the new Scooby and Scrappy show aired from 84 to 85. And the 13 Ghosts of Scooby Doo aired only in 85. It didn't even last 3 months in airing. And also, in 1988, we got a new Scooby show, a pup named Scooby Doo. And it was during a time in the 80s when they made classic characters like the Flintstones, Bugs Bunny and his friends, and Scooby-Doo, and turned them into kids. Therefore, because kids shows were on the rise, and the reason why is to increase viewings of the show. And it ended in 1991 because Hanna-Barbera was making a new pirate-themed show. I don't really know what it was called. The Black Waters Pirates, I think? I don't know. And, yeah, it was kind of sad. In 2002 to 2006, we got another new series, What's New, Scooby-Doo? And it was fully back to the original format of people in outfits, not supernatural monsters. And I quite liked it. Not as much as Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? But it's still pretty good. And from 2006 to 2008, we got another Scooby-Doo series, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue. It's where Shaggy and Scooby leave the gang because Shaggy's uncle, Dr. Albert Shackleford, has gone missing. And he leaves Shaggy, his only heir, all his cash in his mansion, which he and Scooby used to upgrade the Mystery Machine for to become more stuff, and they have to defeat his arch rival, Dr. Phineas Phibes. From 2010 to 2013, we got Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated. It was extremely dark. As dark as a Scooby show can get. I mean, literally. Velma's former arch rival, Hot Dog Water, was literally killed off screen. And it was just so scary. And I remember every time it came on, I'd literally hide under my bed sheets, just praying that What's New, Scooby-Doo, Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue, or soon to be Cool, Scooby-Doo was airing afterwards. And when it did, when those 3 shows did, I was happy. After the show ended in 2013, in 2015 to 2018, we got Be Cool, Scooby-Doo. It was, and it's way more comedic than scary. With Shaggy and Scooby not needed to be bribed with Scooby snacks, Fred has more OCD in solving mysteries, not trying to be offensive. Daphne's now the comic relief, and Velma's too focused on her work to focus on mysteries. And from last year, 2019, to today, in 2020, we got Scooby-Doo and Guess Who. It's where people like Weird Al and Batman would team up with Scooby and the gang. It was like a new version of the new Scooby-Doo movies, though way shorter, and the new Scooby-Doo movies was an hour long each an episode, but Scooby-Doo and Guess Who is about 22 minutes long. And even the theme song, Scooby-Dooby-Doo and Guess Who, we know you're 1 in a million. For we can count on you, be Scooby-Doo, to catch and unmask the villain. That's like the final verse of the original Scooby-Doo Where Are You theme song. And as of today, there hasn't been any other new ones. Now we head over to the movies. During the Scrappy era, we had films like Scooby-Doo and the Boot meets the Boo Brothers, where Scrappy, Scooby, and Shaggy go to the Deep South to get Shaggy's inheritance. Scooby-Doo and the Ghoul School, where Shaggy, Scooby, and Scrappy become gym teachers at Miss Grimwood's finishing school for girls, where they're monsters. and Scooby-Doo and the Rockston Werewolf, where Shaggy and Scooby, as well as Scrappy, meet on a werewolf. Personally, I always found those films pretty boring compared to stuff from 1988 onwards. In 1988, we got Scooby-Doo on Zombie Island, which many absolutely love. And the year after, we got Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, also pretty dark. Then and ever since then, we got several films such as Scooby-Doo and the Alien Invaders in 2000, Scooby-Doo and the Cyber Chase in 2001, and several other films I'm not going to get into. And actually, in 2018, Scooby-Doo actually teamed up with Batman the Brave and the Bold. Batman the Brave and the Bold ran from 2008 to 2011. It was more campier and lighter in tone compared to Batman the Animated Series from the early to mid 90s and the Batman from 2004 to 2008, which the Mystery Gang actually debuted in a special episode, and it was pretty good. The episode was actually pretty awesome. It was just like the new Scooby-Doo movies in 2010 or 2011. I couldn't remember. And as for then there's the live-action theatrical films and the new Scoob movie. In 2002, we got Scooby-Doo the movie, starring Freddie Prinze Jr. as Fred, Mr. Prinze's wife, Sarah Michelle Gellar, as Daphne, Linda Cardellini, I think that's how you say it, as Velma, Matthew Lillard, who plays Shaggy today from 2010 onwards, as Shaggy, and Neil Fanning as Scooby's voice. Scrappy was portrayed as his own because James Gunn, the writer and director of it, really hates Scrappy. In 2004, we got a sequel to it, Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Unleashed, which if you watch my review for it, I think it's actually better than Scooby-Doo 2002. There's just more callbacks to Scooby-Doo, Where Are You?, the new Scooby-Doo movies, and the Scooby-Doo show, which James Gunn has said is in the same universe as the live-action films. Both of those films got pretty bad reviews, and the theatrical live-action Scooby films ceased. However, in 2009 and 2010, we got Scooby-Doo The Mystery Begins and Scooby-Doo Curse of the Lake Monster, which could be considered prequels to those two films I just mentioned. It starred Nick Plentes, I think that's how you say it, as Shaggy, Robbie Amell as Fred, Haley Kulitu, I don't know how you say your last name, as Velma, and Kay Higgins, I think, as Daphne, with Frank Welker providing Scooby's voice. In fact, Daphne and Velma got their own spin-off film back in 2018 as well. And the tagline is, "Before Scooby-Doo, these BFFs had a clue." And I don't remember who acted, just because it's just been a while since I've last actually seen it. And, yeah. And in 2020, this year, we got Scoob! It's supposed to kick off the animated Hanna-Barbera cinematic universe. To sum it up, Shaggy and Scooby are kicked out of Mystery Inc. by Simon Cowell, who's going to invest and will not without Shaggy and Scooby, since they're just gluttonous slackers. And Scooby and Shaggy get abducted by the Blue Falcon, Dynamite, and their pilot Dee Dee Sykes, who's part of Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, although she doesn't have her afro, bell-bottom jeans, and her button-up shirt, instead looking like a skin from Fortnite. Now Fred, Daphne, and Velma need to get, along with the Blue Falcon, Dynamite, Dee Dee, Scooby, and Shaggy, must stop Dick Dastardly from taking over the world by unleashing Cerberus, the three-headed dog demon thing, from getting Alexander the Great's treasure. But he also wants to save his dog, Muttley, with some help from Captain Caveman. And to me personally, I didn't really like the film. Well, personally, I thought the cast was pretty ridiculous. I mean, there was Will Forte as Shaggy, Zac Efron as Fred, Amanda Seyfried as Daphne, and Gina Rodriguez as Velma. Why would you ever choose them to play them? And the original actors of them, Matthew Lillard, Greg Griffin, and Kate Mitsuni, really wanted to be in the film, but they went for bigger Hollywood names. Even Scooby was played by Frank Welker, but Welker could have easily played Fred. It wasn't that hard. There's also Brian Crown, the new Blue Falcon, after his dad, Bradley, retired, a rich art dealer, played by Mark Wallenberg. Dee Dee Sykes, the pilot of the Falcon Fury, not Teenage Mystery Solver, played by Kiersey Clemens. Dynamite, played by Ken Jeong, who's now more smart and more mature, even though Frank Welker could easily played him as well. And Dick Dastardly, played by Jason Isaacs, who's now a supervillain, not a racer. My dad personally remembers him because he watched many of the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons like Jabberjaw and the Neptunes, Captain Caveman and the Teen Angels, Wacky Races, the Flintstones, the Jetsons, and of course Scooby Doo, before they were bought by Warner Brothers. And Molly also appears, played by Billy West, who's been playing him since 2017. Even Captain Caveman, played by Tracy Morgan, appears, though Blue Falcon and Scooby need to fight him in order to get the last skull of Cerberus, so Dastardly wouldn't get it. And apparently, I really like that Welker and West were in it, but the animation's also pretty nice. It's more simplistic and stylized instead of more realistic. And yeah, Scooby has also had many comics, and some by DC Comics. Well, why didn't they do a collaboration with the Justice League? And even Scooby Apocalypse, also by DC, where it's in the apocalypse, where Scooby and the gang need to stop the evil guy, which I can't really remember, so that we could go back to what we originally were. And as a Christian myself, my mom keeps saying that we don't call it the apocalypse, we call it the second coming of Christ. But not one character in DC Comics or even Marvel Comics refer to the apocalypse as the second coming of Christ, just the apocalypse. And that's more commonly used. And there's even a Scooby-Doo Batman thing where it's supposed to be Batman's 80 years and Scooby's 50 years anniversaries back in 2019, where Scrappy unleashes a bunch of Scooby's main other counterparts, like the ones from Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue, Mystery Incorporated, What's New Scooby-Doo, the Scrappy era, and others. And the Giant Scooby thing, which is actually just several other characters from Scooby. And they did it because they were jealous of Scooby and the gang's popularity as opposed to theirs. And then there was also something else. It was like there was like a comic where there was Captain Messick, named after Don Messick, Scooby's original actor. Kasem County, which is named after Shaggy's original actor, Casey Kasem. Officer North, named after Daphne's second actress, Heather North. And the culprits are actually Frank Welker, Fred's voice since the beginning, and Scooby's voice since 2002, and Nicole Jaff, Velma's original voice, as the culprits. And it was pretty good. And Scooby has also have many video games, including ever since, I think, the 80s. I haven't really played these games. They include Scooby-Doo Night of 100th Frights, I think back in the 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s. Scooby-Doo foul at the Landon Fun Park, I think that's what it's called. And even a couple Wii games such as Scooby-Doo First Frights in 2009 and Scooby-Doo and the Spooky Swamp from 2012. No, 2010. And who knows what's going to happen to it next. Also, there's one more thing I forgot to mention. The voice cast. This is the cast ever since 1969 to 2020. Let's begin. In the original few series, actually, let me explain. In every series from Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? To a pup named Scooby-Doo, Scooby was played by Don Messick. Until his last Scooby voice was in a Burger King ad before he died back in 1997. Scott Innes took over for a couple of direct-to-video movies, being the first four I mentioned. And ever since 2002, Frank Welker's been playing Scooby. And from Scooby-Doo Where Are You? To What's New Scooby-Doo, Shaggy was played by Casey Kasem, on the condition Shaggy would be a vegan. And actually, Willie West and Scott Innes played Shaggy in those four direct-to-video films I mentioned with Scooby, because they won't make Shaggy into a vegan. And from Scooby-Doo Where Are You? To nowadays, Fred has been played by Frank Welker, except for a pup named Scooby-Doo when he was played by a child actor, Carl Stevens, because he's younger, and the new Scoob film because they wanted to get the bottom line. And then we have Daphne. And in 1969, the first season of Scooby-Doo Where Are You? She was played by Stefana Christopherson, and from 1970 to 2005, I think, she was played by Heather North. And Mary Kay Bergman played her in the first three of those animated films before she died back in 1999. And ever since 2001, she's been played by Grey Griffin, except for a pup named Scooby-Doo. She's played by a female childhood actress. I don't remember the name of her. And Amanda Seyfried in the new animated Scoob movie. And Velma's original actress was Nicole Jaffe from 1969 to 1974, I think, where she was replaced by several actresses, including the what was her name again? I think it was I don't remember her name, from in the Scrappy era. Then she was played by another actress, which I don't really remember, in a pop named Scooby-Doo. And the original four direct-to-video Scooby movies, she was played by B.J. Ward. However, in 2002, she was replaced by Mindy Cohen. And in 2015, with Be Cool Scooby-Doo, she was played by Kay Massuni, and still is today. But she wasn't played by Massuni or Cohen, but instead Gina Rodriguez in the new Scooby-Doo movie, Scoob. And of course, there's also those actors I originally mentioned. Also for Shaggy, he was also played by Scott Menville in Shaggy and Scooby-Doo Get a Clue, and by Matthew Lillard and everything from the new Scoob from Mystery Incorporated, the Scooby series from 2010 to 2013, and everything except for the new Scoob movie where he was played by Will Forte. And that leaves us with the 51st anniversary of Scooby Doo. Happy birthday, Scooby Doo! Anyways, I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace out, y'all.